Stay tuned for Ellie, private investigator. Unintentionally cast in the role of Cupid, Ellie finds herself playing match-unmaker in this tale from Galveston, Texas in 1940.
I'm Ellie, private investigator. I had just completed a successful and, if I may say so, fairly highly publicized case in Houston. I decided to take a short beach vacation on Galveston Island, a quick trip on the interurban railway. I'm staying at the Galvez Hotel and was finishing breakfast while reading the Galveston Daily News when a young man appeared at my table.
You're not my waiter. How can I help you?
My name is Harold Fassbender, and I recognize you from the article in the Houston Chronicle. May I join you?
I thought this might lead to a job, so I waved him into a chair opposite me. Harold is a pharmacist recently employed at John Seeley Hospital. While taking a walk near the hospital, he met a young woman, Connie Argentino, and after a whirlwind romance, asked her to marry him. So, are congratulations in order, Harold?
Actually, no. I have a problem. Connie is the daughter of Gus Argentino. Mr. Argentino controls the fishing industry and owns a restaurant on the beach that has an illegal casino in the back. He came to talk to me, and he laid out some demands. I must marry Connie within the month. Why so fast? I asked. He looked me in the eye and said, "'Cause maybe you got her pregnant, see? Also, you gotta buy her a big house so she can live as she's accustomed." He scared me.
Was that all?
There is more. Argentino turned and looked over his shoulder, and this big, tough guy steps closer. He says, "If you don't follow through, it will break my daughter's heart, and she so wants a doctor in the family. So, fail her, fail me, and Lefty here will break both your legs."
Wait, I heard doctor there.
Yes, that's my real problem. When I met Connie at the hospital, I wanted to impress her. I let on that I was a physician, and I lied about being wealthy. Then things moved so fast, I never tried to straighten out my story.
So, now Mr. Argentino is going to break both your legs.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
I have heard of Gus Argentino, and he is a ruthless gangster. My advice is to pack up and leave town. Don't look back.
What about my job?
Pharmacist can always find a job. New knees are harder to come by. Come on, Harold. Get up and let's go pack. Leave the rest to me. I had a premonition that trouble might follow us, so I called a cab company and asked for a particular cabbie. As we entered the cab, I introduced myself. I'm Ellie, and Sergeant Mack of the Houston Police told me I could hire you if I needed special transportation services.
Ah, you're the person who asked for me. I'm Jack, and I'm your man.
Jack, this may be a peaceful ride, but I doubt it, so let me pay you in advance. I handed him a $50 bill, 2 weeks' salary around here.
Who do you want killed, ma'am?
Just follow Harold's directions to his place.
Harold guided the cabbie to a large house in a really nice neighborhood. Harold, you live here?
Not quite. It's a tiny apartment above the garage there. You go up those old rickety stairs to one room with a kitchen and a toilet. I was not kidding about fibbing on my prospects.
I told Jack to wait, and Harold and I proceeded to pack up all his stuff in several big suitcases. Harold traveled light. As we were leaving, I was making my way down the narrow stairs, struggling with a huge suitcase that showed I too could be optimistic about my prospects. Harold was behind me with the other suitcases. I looked down and a shadow fell over the bottom stair. Might you be the ever-faithful Lefty?
Pardon me, but might you be going somewhere?
Oh my god.
We've been watching you. The boss was afraid you might not live up to your responsibilities.
Lefty started up the stairs. When he got to me in my suitcase, it was the case of the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Lefty and I huffed and puffed, but his big body was not getting past. I pushed and he lurched, and the rotten banister parted ways with the stairs. Lefty did a swan dive into a big clump of banana trees. Harold and I got in the cab, and I could hear Lefty yelling and cursing, so I knew he was generally okay.
Miss Ellie, I saw Lefty, Argentino's enforcer, pull up in a car and go in where you were. Did he cause you any trouble?
We had an unhappy parting, and I'm afraid he's going to be following us. Jack, now you earn your 50. We need to lose Lefty and then get to the train station, so stomp on it.
I know a good trick. I'll get on Avenue S going east. Avenue S joins Seawall Boulevard at a hard angle. Lefty will think we're going straight, but we'll hang a hard right. And if I time it right, Lefty will stop on the beach to play with his little bucket and shovel.
We flew along the streets. On Avenue S, Lefty started to gain on us, and I could see Jack was timing his pace to draw Lefty into a trap.
Seawall coming up, y'all hang on!
Jack flew into the intersection like he was going straight onto Seawall Boulevard. Lefty was right behind us. Jack stomped on the brakes and swung the car to the right and stomped on the gas. Looking back, I saw Lefty trying to duplicate our turn. He overcompensated and could not turn tight enough. I saw him drive straight down the bank of the seawall, heading for the beach and finally burying the car's nose in the sand.
Next stop, train station.
We got to the train station and I put Harold on an interurban train to Houston. Jack dropped me back at my hotel. I figured there would be some comebacks from this adventure. That evening, I was having dinner at the hotel, and I spot Gus Argentino surging across the room, being followed by a rather grumpy-looking Lefty. He offered no polite words, not even a, "May I join you?" He just grabs a chair and sits down. Lefty hovers.
I just left my daughter. She is heartbroken and crying her eyes out. You have a lot of nerve. I figured out that Harold was no good, but dealing with him is now my job, not yours. I think maybe Lefty should break your legs.
I understand your desire for blood. I may have done you a favor. If you allow me to explain. First, waiter, get Mr. Argentino and his associates something to drink. You drink, and we'll calmly explore the possibilities.
Maybe I'll have a bourbon. A double. Lefty wants a beer.
With both seated and somewhat sated with booze, I explained 3 reasons why he did not want to break my legs. Harold was not a good catch. He could not have loved Connie very much because he so quickly packed up and left. You would expect a true suitor to fight for his girl.
Yes, that's a good point.
Second, Harold is an earnest young man but susceptible to overstating his case. Basically, he lied to Connie. He's not a doctor, and he has no money. So keeping Connie in the style she was so accustomed to was pretty much out of the question.
I had not seen that.
Finally, it turns out that Harold's dad is a Texas Ranger up in Dallas. If your boy there hurt Harold, then Harold's poppy might just visit and shut down your gambling operation. Texas Rangers don't take bribes, unlike your local law enforcement.
That was the best point you made. And now, Lefty is not gonna break your legs. Actually, I kind of owe you. What do you need?
Since this is a seaside town, how about some oysters on the half shell?
You betcha. I'll send over a few dozen on ice. I trust we'll not meet again. Come on, Lefty. Let's go.
Harold said he'd pay me when he got a new job. I wonder if that'll ever happen. Oh well, fresh oysters are nice and a payment of sorts. His dad's a Texas Ranger. Where do I come up with these things?
Ellie Adder, private investigator, will return for another adventure in the near future. Tonight's cast: Ellie Adder, P.I., was played by Emma Bryan. Harold was played by Steve Martell. Gus was played by Morgan Marion, featuring Jason Marion as Jack, and Jeff Stocky as Lefty. Written and produced by Jason Marion and Roger Marion. Music by Jason Marion. This is your announcer, Ben Pearson. Have a pleasant evening.